welcome to my channel, Love Storyteller Tarot. My name is Jeanette and this is the love reading for the water signs Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Sun, Moon or Rising for the month of May 2017. Okay then, I just want to say a big thank you for all the likes and shares and my new subscribers. Welcome, and a big thank you to my loyal ones. I was just saying in the full moon reading with the Scorpio about, you know, for your personal readings, if you could just put your date of birth rather than the, because for some reason it's twisted and I don't know which way around it is, but it just saves me a bit of time when you do that. I will get it sorted. I just one of those things I haven't got round to it at the moment. Okay then, I actually went to the seaside or did a lovely long walk for about 4 hours, spent time down by the sea, got these lovely little shells and this little stone, and I thought it was appropriate for the water signs because they're, you know, connected to the sea, and that looked like a heart, so I thought, how lovely was that? So I thought I'd put it all on. It's all symbolic to get the best energies for you and see what's going on in your love lives. Right then, most important messages, highest good, most important messages for the water signs Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces for the month of May. So what do you need to know? Well, this is like going on a journey, but it's sat in the past. So it's feeling like maybe some of you have already walked away from something. Because on this deck of cards, it's the Rider-Waite cards. There is a gap there. On my other one, there isn't. They're stacked neatly. So depending on what set I use as to what I see, but yeah, there is one missing there. So it's not missing, but they're not stacked equally. So it's like there's a separation. That could be read as symbolically as the Three of Cups, but there's a gap in between. So you get the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups, and then you've got the Five underneath, which represents the disappointment and the grieving and the heartache of emotional situations. But yeah, so you can read it differently, but there's a gap there, and it's like turning your back on something. Can we do this? This is a bit like the eclipses, your moon and the sun. So it's eclipsing something out of your life. So maybe also watch the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, because they last until August. I think I will put a link so you can watch it afterwards if you choose. You know, because they're here to help you and support you, work with cycles so that you're going with the flow, not going against something, so that the universe can support you on your emotional journey, really. But in this deck anyway, it's got a very heavy red coat. Red is about the base chakra, and it's about manifesting. It's about, you know, survival. So there's something on an emotional level for some of you that, you know, a survival instinct to walk away from something and go in a new direction is what they're saying. But with that, there will be a spiritual context to it also. So for some it will be you have emotionally walked away from something physically, or you've just let go of something that just wasn't serving you. I think that the eclipses on both sets of cards to do with the dynamics of the relationship was around trust and sexuality. So very much, and that Scorpio full moon that's due on the, oh, I can't remember now. Did I even say the date on that one? The full moon that will be due is the Scorpio, is very much around sexuality. So trust around that, because you can't express that if you don't have the foundation of trust. You know, you can't be vulnerable in a relationship if there's no trust there, because you've got to use discernment to who you can be vulnerable with. Otherwise, they're just going to keep wounding you. You know, you're going to have that open wound, and it's like pouring salt onto it, and they're just going to keep pouring salt on it, and it's just never going to heal. And you know, so on an emotional level, there's a walking away, and going on a quest to find something that's more healthy to do with love in your relationships. And that was the you know, the right direction to go. But in the here and now, because of that, you know, you've got 8 and then you've got a 4. Because of that, so for some of you, maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. But we'll keep going with the cards, and then we'll see. But look at all these cups. You know, it's water. We're talking about water, and then the cups show up. But you know, in the here and now for the month of May, is like, this is somebody that's sulking. They're sat under a tree. Tree is all about knowledge, but the arms are folded. They're sat down, so there's no movement. There's stagnation, like I was saying about the 3 of Cups here. But there's a separation there, and but there's something. The Ace of Cups is there. The Ace of Cups is that energy, that falling in love energy, that everything looks so beautiful, you know. It's your heart is open and everything's vibrant, and you just feel joy and excitement about getting up for the day. And even if there isn't love in your life, it's that. But there's something being offered. So have you walked away from something that was there? And but he's like, he, she, it doesn't matter, but their arms are folded, their legs are crossed. It's like a stubborn child, like a refusal to see something, and my way or the highway I'm getting. And you know, this person's just focused on the 3 of Cups, and is like, what was they were saying. But they're saying, look, the hands coming out of the clouds, which represents, you know, the divine, and it's also on the Ace of Wands also, and I think Cups, I can't remember, you know, and saying, look, I've got something here that maybe it's not what you want, but it could be what you need, and out of that becomes what you want, is what they're saying. But yeah, so, but this is like the boredom card. Boredom, stubborn, a refusal to shift, something like that, around love, around emotions. Something's been cut in half, is what I'm getting, because the 8 and the 4. And then in the near future, it's to do with the waiting game. But this is like waiting for harvest time, waiting for something to come in. So it just feels like there's a refusal, or there will be, for the water signs for this month of May. I'm doing it on the 25th of April. To see something that's on offer, and they're being stubborn. They're choosing to wait for something, waiting for harvest to come in. Now this is on the physical level, so it's around your mundane material life, to do with work. This can also be a bit of a boredom card as well, because he's looking at, okay, I've done this, I've done that, you know, where has it got me? I've worked hard, But there is, again, there's one down here. So there is, out of all the things that he's tried or she's tried, there is one thing that would produce a harvest for them. But it's about connecting with it and recognizing what it is. But this is very much the harvest card and waiting. And again, on an emotional level, there's something being offered. And on a physical level, there's something that would, you know, you'd plant your seeds. What you're experiencing now, because what are we now? 2017, so 7, 8, 9, 10. It's classed as 10, but break it down, it's 1. But it's 10 is the Wheel of Fortune card. So you've got to be looking at the seeds that you've been planting where love's concerned. Whatever you're reaping now, you can then, it gives you a clue of what seeds you planted in the past. And is it bringing you benevolence? Because that full moon in Scorpio is about good karma, or good dharma, I call it. So if you planted the right seeds to do with your emotions, because that's what it's saying, and then you would see it being produced on a physical level. But he's a gardener. He's someone that attends his garden, and maybe this is somebody that's refusing to tend their emotions. And you know, if you look at and deal with that, then yeah, 10th of May that full moon is, so this would be part of the story. And it's very much about the death card, dying to the old of something, a chapter in your life that's not going to be there for you anymore. You're having a clean slate, is what they're saying. Yeah, all to do with the Magician and as above, so below. But that's in the outer world. That's in the outer world, as above, so below, and what you experience. Because you've got, this is an elemental reading for the water signs, for all 3 of them. So you've got all of your tools, the elements, on this table. You know, they're on the table for you to use. A table is about 4, it's security, stability. You know, if you only had 3 legs, it would wobble. Your tools would come off the table. This is all symbolic to your situation. You know, you've got the sword, which is the mental level, because you work on all 4 levels all the time. You might be very into spirituality, the wands and creativity at one point in your life, because that's your purpose, and it could be that you're working with the emotions at the same time, or it could be you're working with all 3 at the same time, and because you've worked on the one. So now this is all about the manifestation card, so it suggests the coins. So maybe you've been working with your emotional situation and your emotional life, and you're waiting for something to manifest into form, because it's all hearsay if it's not concrete and something that you can touch and see for yourself. Because the Magician is something that produces something out of thin air, which sort of goes with that. You know, it produces something out of thin air, but you've manifested something, and either you're refusing to see it because it's not what you want, you're fixated on something else on an emotional level, or you're just so focused on the past and something that you know thought was going somewhere, because 3 is about confirmation, that you thought on an emotional level was going somewhere, and then it wasn't. But it's like the universe is nudging you and trying to get you to look up and see something else around, you know, the Magician. and your skills and your talents. And for some, you know, if you're in a situation, that Nine of Swords, where I don't know what reading I said about it, but I saw something on LinkedIn, so I'll mention it here, is I was trying to find the right expression, because words are about expression, to do with spiritual ego, you know, because there's strong spiritual ego about, and I was just trying to think what could that be as an archetype, but this person just named it just like that for me. I didn't see who their name was, and I thought, that's the archetype, the charismatic narcissist. And I'm just like, that blew my mind. I thought, yeah, that's what I've been trying to, because something doesn't fit right. As charisma is, you know, in its pure form is love and unconditional love, but the narcissist is all about themselves, and that's that Nine of Swords, you know. And either you're attracted to somebody with an addiction, and then that, you know, they're married to that addiction, they're not with you, and then they're just draining your energy like a vampire does to feed themselves, or a toxic relationship situation. And then when you're trying to, because you're here to manifest something for yourself that's in line with your soul contract, and then if you're in a situation where that energy is dominant, then you can't possibly materialize and manifest via your skills and talents, because this emotional situation is just draining you. You've got no life force left, and you need that to be able to produce something. So, you know, for those of you that have walked away, then it's the right thing to do, but it looks as though you're hanging on to the past, and no matter how long that past was, 10 years, 20 years, yesterday, whatever, that's the past. It will be different for everybody. But yeah, it's all to do with this being able to, like I said, so as above, so below. It's marrying the heavens to the earth. It's joining it. We've got the snake like a belt around his waist, and the snake is all about transformation and completeness, wholeness. You know, the snake's got his tail in his mouth, so it's about sort of coming full circle. You've got the infinity sign, but a lot of yellow. You know, the infinity sign is like a number 8. It just continues. It continues. It will never stop. And a lot of yellow. This is all about your solar plexus. This is about your self-esteem, your self-worth, your power center, which is where the snake is, roughly. So, and the magician can be a crossroads, you know, can be a crossroads, and maybe you were at a crossroads and need to, you know, in April, needing to make a decision for yourself, and that's scary. But you know, things happen the way they happen. I believe some things are preordained. Major events in your life are preordained, and then in between, it's like your free will, as whether you want to go kicking and screaming or whether you go easily and you work with the cycles and the energy. But certain things are set in stone because it's a soul contract. You've agreed to certain things in your life, certain lessons, and then the characters turn up to be able to support you, and that's your karmic relationships. That they are the ones that, they're still a soulmate, but it's just they are the lesson. It's only them that can bring something out in you, or make something that's unconscious in you conscious. That's what the magician does, make something that's unconscious conscious, so that you can see it in physical form. And a person can represent that, because this is very much the fox, the trickster card also, but it's not in reverse. So there's no tricking going on. It is the purest form of the magician for the intention of good. and there will be synchronicities, or there was synchronicities to do with this situation. So this might not be you. You know, when we're talking about a potential partner, if you're single, it might not be you. It might be what's going on in your potential partner's life. And you know, that's what these Mercury retrogrades are all about. It's the universe having to, well, this person decided that because of free will, somebody else decided that, we needed them to do that, they weren't listening, so they've gone off that way, and Mercury retrograde is, right, we'll have to do all this to get these people to slow down, to get them to try and think about something, to get them back on the right path again. So that's what it's saying, because the synchronistic events isn't cause and effect as in outer, it's within you, your own power center. And like I said, when you're ready, then these things can happen, and these situations, these serendipitous situations manifest. But then you've got to be awake and aware as to what the meaning is. I think that's where the problem, you know, the Carl Jung, the synchronicity, that's when the problem arises, because it's about being able to read that situation and actually what is it saying about a situation. And I'll just share my own perception for myself, but you know, that's my perception, and I see things symbolically in this. You know, in December of 2016, when you think about it symbolically, it's the end of 2016, December. It's my daughter's birthday. We're out watching at the theatre Cinderella. So you take it all symbolically. Cinderella is all about going from rags to riches, and there's the test to be able to do that. It's symbolic. That doesn't always mean money. It's just an abundant life. And then, you know, somebody, serendipitous situation that was not planned or set up by cause and effect. It was set up out of something out of the unknown, and this person happened, of all places, to end up in the same restaurant as we did. But the clue to that was that this person chose to sit with their backs to myself and my family, and chose to be with the family that they were with, because they represented the past. So, you know, the synchronistic meeting was to show me on a physical level that that person had chosen to turn their backs to what they could have had with myself and my family, and they chose their past. They chose their past because this person, even their partner's ex-partner's vehicle was still on the drive, and that's somebody who's not prepared to let go. They might say excuses like, oh, it's for this reason, that reason, but on a subconscious level they're holding on to something. And you know, and that's what my readings are all about. That's what my book is about. It's about showing you how to read symbolically your situations to the best that I can anyway, from my own past experiences as to what's got me here. So this is all about using all of these, your mental level, the fire, the spiritual, the cup, the emotion, and then the physical level. But your skills might not, they might have been dampened via the toxic emotions from a certain relationship. But this is what's at the heart of the matter and the purpose of it all, because that's the environment. But this is the trigger to other things happening. And you know, I see this personally. You know, I respect everybody. and we all have our unique gifts and talents, and we see things, thank God, differently, as in how you read something. My guides know me, so it wouldn't work for somebody else, but it works for me. For me, this is like two. It's the ones are spiritual, so it's fire, it's creativity, like the magician. And so for me, this is like a business partnership with your own inner magician, and you can call that the inner you, the higher you, the divine you, whatever you it is, but it is within you. And but this is like having the relationship with your higher self, and connecting. And this is saying, you know, looking out, holding the world in willing to give of something, to give, to be of service, and to give of yourself. There's a big wide world out there, and it's about to be a service to the world, because we've got the magician card here. So it's about using your skills and talents. For May, this is what you're going to be looking at and working with, so that you can go out into that big wide world, and you know, people are waiting for your gifts and your talents, whatever that is for you, to support, which is about love, the essence of love, not romantic love. And then this is about a business partnership, like I said in the other one, around your skills and talents is what's at the heart of the matter for you. And maybe, though, you know, those were being dampened due to, because that's like a spiritual quest. So it might not be physically walking away, but it could be that, you know, sometimes, like I say in my book, if you're in a marriage, long-term partnership, children, whatever, you need to look to see whether it's you or the partnership, you know, before you end a long-term partnership, because it could be that you need to go on a quest to deepen this or find these skills and talents, but that is representing the past. So, or you have been doing that, you have been working with that energy, and then you come to a decision for yourself. But this is what it's all about, because if not, if you feel lost spiritually, on a soul contract level, your soul is your heart. Your heart might be calling you to explore. There's a big wide world out there to explore, to get out of your comfort zones, and to, you know, look for this partnership, because this is the card of boredom, but there's something being offered to you, which is around the temperance. This is like the Sagittarius energy. So we've got Saturn in Sag at the moment, so it's around, like, Saturn brings the rewards. They say Jupiter, but for me personally, but then Capricorn, the ruler is Saturn, I tend to get my rewards with the Saturn, which it will be when it goes into Capricorn in 2017, December 2017. So but this is, because this comes after the Death card, it's 14. This is like a win-win. It's like waiting for a win-win situation. And the only way you're going to get the win-win situation is by co-creating together with the universe, and which brings the win-win situation. It means you're not on your own. This is like an alchemical process, and it's like the blending, and it's water. She's got one foot dipped in and one out, so it's about dipping your toe in, is about it's about working with those emotions and transforming them or blending them. It's not about rejection, it's about blending those emotions and feelings so that you get more into the feelings. So you start to experience more joy, more happiness, not so much the murky waters of the Scorpio and that needs clearing of past experiences and past life stuff, that Pluto energy. This is about diplomacy and maturity in relationships, because you've worked with your emotions, you've learnt what the emotions represent and how they can damage relationships and all sorts of relationships, not just romantic. And then you're transforming them, and this is like fate and destiny, and that's all that fate and destiny is. Fate is the cards that's been dealt you, and then it's whether you react to something, which is your emotional life, or whether you respond, which is your feelings. There is a difference. That's how I see it. That's how I wrote it in my book. Because this is about diplomacy, being diplomatic. Being diplomatic is about being able to communicate. It's a very healing card. It's a bit like the Star card. It's, you know, she wears her clothes lightly, and in other words, don't be attached to things too emotionally, because then you are coming from the emotions, and they can be heavy and put strain on a relationship. You want to come from the feelings, and to do that you need trust. But diplomacy is all about being able to talk with somebody about how you're really feeling, which then transforms those emotions, because you're feeling them and you're thinking, oh my God, you know, instead of exploding and doing damage, you're saying, you know, I feel this way, I feel this way. You own them, and then, you know, you do a call to action. I really need you to listen to me, so that I can be heard. I was never heard as a child. Please just listen to me. I don't need any action from you. So you're letting the other person know what it is without triggering them, because then you get too wounded inner children and you get the separation, because it's like, oh, and then they go off, you go into your patterns of behaviour. So that's what diplomacy is all about, the skill and the art of being able to create a win-win situation, to be heard and for them to be heard. So it's about listening as well. It's also about using your, you know, your higher powers, your psychic abilities from your heart and your third eye, to transform this, and you know, that alchemical process of emotions to feelings, is what they're saying. Ooh, things in the garden are rosy. This is like independence. Not that's like working with a business partner on a project, working with somebody on a project that would be of purpose, would be vocational, which would be of service to other people, because that's which would alchemically help people to transform their situations. But this is again all yellow. This is about your skills and talents, and being independent. They will, your own inner resources will provide for you. That full moon one was about letting go of this belief and pattern of the father figure, the boss, because that could have been a boss as well, leadership, the boss, the father figure, a job providing for you for some. yeah, you'd have to do the transition from a job to a calling, a self-employment, because the visionary was there, the Queen of Wands. So I think it's for the feminine, are going to be more independent by following their own hearts and coming up with services that provide for other people's evolution and transformation in all shapes and forms. But this is independence. This is about you know, financially being okay. She's got everything she needs. You know, she's either been the she's being the benefactor, which you can be once you're okay, or somebody was a benefactor to her that was helping her with her skills and talents, because this is representing the past. And you've got your collaboration there, which is about a job, you see. So it might be that you need a benefactor, somebody to support or help you to go from a transitional phase, alchemical process, from working at a job to a career, a vocation. And this is also can come under, because it's money, it represents the material, like large-scale businesses to do with a calling. It could be also to do with that. So, or that's what you've been working with in the past, the seeds that have been being planted. We better get on. The time goes so quickly. We've got the Ace of Cups. So, yeah, this is about a new emotional beginning. You know, that falling in love, the dove of peace, and the cup runneth over. It's like, oh, it's just, whether you're with somebody or not, it's just feeling that way. And new feelings, not of the old. It's not emotions. That's emotions. This is feelings. There's a difference. You're opening your heart. That's the only thing that'll open your heart, is to feel those deep emotions, so they can be transcended into your heart center and your feelings. But yeah, this is new beginnings in love. So new beginnings in love. And the way to do that is this, because this is what's at the heart of the matter. And there's the Ace of Cups there, something that's being offered. But it feels like this is the key to it, and being independent financially, being independent financially, or that's what you've been working towards, then brings this new beginning in love, brings this new beginning in love. And yeah, this is like pages that you're at an early stage of something, a very early stage of something. So a new beginning in love, but also like a toddler on the spiritual path, or a new spiritual path, a new wave, you know, the 5D, looking at something. Is what they're saying. Both newness, a new level. Oh, we've got, yeah, because we've got the Hierophant that's in reversed. So this is what's going on underneath, and it's all to do with love, because this is the environment. And like I was saying, watch that full moon in Scorpio one, because that'll give you something to go on as well. And this is all about, in reverse, about not conforming. It's about the Aquarian energy of the archetype of the rebel, but being a rebel with a good cause. And you know, you've got to have a cause. You can't just be a rebel without having a cause. Upright, it's all about, you know, institutions, which comes under banks, and, you know, people that have power, and like religion, and go for counsel and following a tradition. And but in reverse, it's saying where your love life is concerned, to do with your skills, and everything. You need to be thinking outside the box, and you're going to be transforming from going from a job to a calling, a career, or that's what you definitely be working with. And this is about not conforming, but Aquarian is about humanity. It's about the bigger picture. So thinking outside of the box and not conforming. It's about the road less travelled, isn't it? The road less travelled, which I think this Temperance card is sort of saying. There is a road here to the crown. The crown is your soul, and it's saying maybe you've got to walk the road less travelled, not be conventional, to get the right love in your life, is what they're saying. Oh dear, let's get these cards out. See what they're saying. Go a bit deeper for the water signs. Right, this is like all about being cunning or sly. You know, a fox is cunning, sly, to get its prey, to survive. So something around to survive on an emotional level. You've had to be cunning, you've had to be sly, by walking away or something like that, or somebody else, if it represents somebody else, they were to walk away. Like I said, to do with your skills, your talents, heart of the matter. Yeah, it's to do with work, but this work is very healing, to be of service. The whole situation is about, for the water signs, all around this partnership with the divine, or you know, somebody here in the physical as well, but it's about not conforming, to be of service, which is all about healing, because this is about professional, which is about co-creating, because we've got the Magician there, and poof, like magic, you know, that's what brings you your financial independence, because that's where it's heading, definitely around career, but it's going to be a healing career, and not to judge that, you know. Even around, just for an example, people who maybe are estate agents, and that's still spiritual. Everything's spiritual, and it's to be of service, you know, to find somebody a home that's right for them is very spiritual. That's just an example that was coming through, because you've got to be really, really open, and you've got to know your lane. You've got to know your lane. Your heart will tell you your lane. But there's movement. This is like news coming. News coming. This can be somebody, you know, has your best interest at heart, but it is next to the fox. So maybe somebody that you've walked away from because it's facing the fox. Got to be cunning or sly around a emotional situation, or somebody's going to be doing that to you, because obviously it works both ways. But to get you out of this boredom phase, or to get you to see what's being on offer, this is movement, it's travel, it's you know, so news awaited, because this is about awaiting, is on its way, to do with this card here. Because there's nervousness, there's anxiety, there's fear. You know, the night seems long around this waiting period of, you know, is my hard work going to pay off? Am I going to have the fruits of my labour, and experience that in a physical form? There's anxiety and worry around that. so it could be, like I said, career, a job, or maybe it's the job and then transforming it into a career, the transitional stage. But yeah, this is around the masculine energy, and that together is somebody who's not above playing tricks to get what they want, but the magician isn't in reverse. So this is somebody who's very skillful and talented, and could emotionally do the walking away thing to get a reaction or something. I'm not too sure, but those two together is a bit like they're cunning, and they're not above playing tricks to get what they want, and it is on the magician. So it is somebody who's very, very skilled and talented. So it could be, well, it's going to be different for many people, but this is around the friendship, because there's nervousness about, this is about companionship. You know, a dog is loyal, companion, faithful, you know, friendly, but it's around, yeah, something to do with the emotions and being diplomatic. So you've got to be friendly and diplomatic around a friendship or this person. There's got to be diplomacy around this companion. That there's some nervousness about waiting, is what they're saying. Oh yeah, well this is in the past, thank goodness. So maybe that was the walking away was the right thing, but then you feel bored and like, oh God, because you're used to that toxic energy and that environment, and I'm running out of time as usual. But this is about somebody nibbling away, you see, nibbling away at your independence, the masculine, nibbling away. This is about stealing something, cunning and stealing, and go back to what I said at the beginning, beginning of the reading. Yeah, definitely a relationship. There we go. The heart's not there, but that's at the beginning. That's the beginning of a relationship and confirmation there. But it's got to do with your independence, got to do with the business, and somebody trying to block you or not supporting you. Yeah, to do with investment. So that could be a business relationship, like I said. Something about benevolence and oh, that was the last reading I did. But this is about investment, like spiritual level. That's the beginning. So like newness. Yeah. So it might be arguments around tradition, a traditional situation, and you're going to have to, there's something to do with tradition and conforming and the roles people play, and the universe is saying no, 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 that's got to change, and this is showing it. So there might be arguments, tension around that. Because they're not visionaries, they can't see it like you can. You're the ones watching the videos. So let's just get a few cards out on the heart of the matter. Most important messages. Yeah, to do with emotional choices. Because that's the 7, to do with, this has all been to do with emotional choices that were illusions, to do with illusions in reverse, that blocked a physical start for you, either a physical move or a job, because we are talking about business here, and that's definitely business. So an emotional choice you made actually blocked a new beginning on a concrete level for you, or that's the energy you're going to, yeah, to do with the High Priestess. That's the High Priestess is intuition, is knowingness, is this, is, you know, High Priestesses do this sort of work. So yeah, that's what it's about. Whatever I was saying at the beginning. So let's have a look, see what the ring is then, and the Ace of Cups as it's in the here and now. We do have time. I have enough time to complete this reading. Right, the ring and Ace of Cups. Right, we've got the Devil card come up. The Devil card's all about materialism and money and being attracted to that. Two major arcanas, but there's healing around that, because this is the Star of Hope, and healing. And remember, we had that there via diplomacy. So there's going to be healing around that, because maybe for the water signs, they've been attracted to, like, that's like the Midas touch. People that have got wealth, and maybe there's been like a wound there for you, for some, not for everybody, but this is very much about materialistic and being too attached to the material world. I mean, this is the stars, so you've got complete opposites. You've got 15, which is 6, which leads to the Devil card, which is the Lover's card, which is very symbolic. They look the same but are different, an angel and then a devil. And then you've got the Healing card, which looks very much like the Temperance, which is about hope, and it's upright. It's about hope and a fresh start. So it looks like that there's going to be some healing around this pattern with this new partnership that's coming in, that could be to do with business, because yeah, we get the King of Pentacles turn up. So he's lovely. He's very much somebody that's got his financial world sorted. So you'd need to watch that, but the healing is there. There is a light at the end of the tunnel to do with the King of Pentacles, which is an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or that energy of that type of person. So that's the connection to this new love relationship, or it's a relationship. It's not actually saying, it could be, but it might not be to begin with. Let's have a look at that Magician and that Man, just to give us a bit more clarity. Magician and the Man. It's like conjuring up. Oh, well, this person has to do with the past. So this person is going through, so maybe they've been quiet. Maybe they've been quiet because they've misused their power, because this is about power, because they've misused their power because of the hence why you've had to walk away, because it's to do with the Fox, and to do with blocking you, the feminine, from moving forward. They've been misusing their power, so maybe the universe has slapped them on their back, where they have to surrender, because this is very much the rest card, meditation card, after hurt, because they've been misusing their power around hurt from their own past. So this could be what your potential partner is going through, not somebody that you know from the past, remember that, but they've been put on their back so that they get the Ace of Swords, the truth, see the truth, the higher truth to the situation, so that they don't misuse their power again, because it's a very powerful person. Yeah, around a new spiritual awakening, and either another level or actually first spiritual awakening. That's very much to do with that. because the pattern's been around battles, competition, and who said what to who, and yeah, very much around that, and even skills, around skills, and feeling that they want to be the one that controls the feminine and is the one that provides, when no, the universe is saying no, that's all stopping now. That's all stopping now. Quick, let's go on to the romance angels. Most important messages, please, for the water signs. Right, the dominant energy is you deserve love. You are lovable, and you need to know that. Okay, you deserve love. And the action that you need to be taking for the month of May is stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. It will, because that's in the here and now. So, and that's the action you've got to do. The overall energy is that you deserve it. You just got to know it. And you've got to, your action, what you can do to contribute is stay optimistic, stay positive. And the result is a separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon, but they're saying you need to stay positive, and if this occurs, then that's what's meant to. So you need to know that and trust that. Okay, let's see what these cards, if you want to ask your question, because we don't have much time left. Pause your video, ask your question, they will answer you as best they can. Not the right time. So there's something around this situation that's not the right time. They're not saying a no, but it's not the right time. So either you've got to stay optimistic, because otherwise the separation will happen for some of you, because that's the call to action, and then that would be the result, or for some it will be, but it's saying it's not the right time, whatever your question is that you've asked. And we'll end with Whispers of Love. Get to know each other, which actually works in with this situation down here, this relationship, because it's not the heart, it's the beginning of a relationship, and there's healing around this materialistic thing to do with this King of Pentacles. Okay, because this is what's on offer up here, but it's something to do with the past. It might not be the right time, so you need to stay optimistic, because they're saying you've got to get to know each other. You've got to start off with a friendship. Learn to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. Number 44, which is 4 and 4 is 8, which is the affinity on the Magician, which you are manifesting. I don't really like that word, but what other word can we use? Learning to meet the need to feel loved and appreciated motivates how we will act in a relationship. Taking time to understand each other will benefit you, as you will find that this will only help love to grow. Recognize your differences and don't try to control every aspect of what is before you. And that is so important, you know, that new moon in Taurus. The key was don't control, and then you get the heart to heart with somebody, because they feel receptive, that you're receptive to listen to what they have to say. So it's all about getting to know somebody and being diplomatic, like I said, to do with this companionship, to do with this friendship, because that's the friendship, and getting to know somebody, because it looks as though there's somebody coming in. It might not be the right time to take it further. It is all about getting to know someone. That's the strong message they're letting me know for you to know. It's not putting it bluntly, not the physical, not jumping into bed with each other. It's about an emotional and getting to know somebody. Okay, not naming it, not labeling it, just getting to know someone. Okay, is the message for you. There we go. I hope that helps. Please like, share and subscribe. It's your gift back to me, and I'll see you back here either for the new or full moon or next month. Lots of love. Namaste.